ABC News correspondent Steve Fox and 2020 cameraman Bob Brandon and soundman Phil Lauter are the first network news people to have set foot on the mountain itself since the eruption. Steve and the crew spent 2 days last week with a search and rescue team.
The danger area is from the mountain to just north of Spirit Lake.
Because they don't even know for sure they're in there. If they can get me a vehicle here, I'll put a ground party in.
They plan. They talk. They calculate every risk as they work grueling hours to battle the disaster. Using every means of communication, local officials and active Army troops share information, their most valuable weapon in the assault on Mount St. Helens. Deputy Sheriff Mike Copenheffer leads the combined forces on search and rescue missions for possible survivors of the eruption.
If we get a confirmed missing on a vehicle, we're going to get a ground crew in with support with the helicopters. Whether we fly them in or drive them in, depending on the weather.
Sheriff Sergeant Randy Hamilton instructs local volunteers in emergency search and rescue. He says the results have been especially rewarding on Mount St. Helens' rugged terrain.
A successful mission is when you find what you're after. And I think the personal pride involved is being able to work with the volunteers. Seeing volunteers come out that you know that work at the bank during the day or work at a mill or run a farm, that when you call them, they come.
They come here to a nearby village firehouse, anxious to help friends, relatives, and neighbors. The volunteers and regular Army helicopter crews drop other responsibilities to concentrate on the rescue effort. Each morning, women from the community prepare donated food for everyone, including Hauser, the German Shepherd tracker who will travel with the rescue team. There are 50 Army troops here and 20 civilian volunteers. The mood is one of cooperation, not competition.
The camaraderie is wonderful. And I think the Army men know that our men know the roads, know the area like the back of their hand. They're taking the risk because they hope maybe they might find someone still alive, holed up somewhere up there. And of course, all the bodies have to be brought out too, for families.
Those of you that haven't been in there and haven't seen it, the devastation is just something we're not going to be able to explain to you. You're going to have to see it to believe it.
The final briefing just before the mission to the mountain. The men get disturbing news. There's more risk than usual. A 5-foot-high volcanic bulge has appeared near the site of today's search, a mining camp where 3 people are missing. Army pilot and Vietnam veteran Russell Capps, who has logged more than 3,600 hours flying helicopters, can only warn his men, not prepare them, for what might happen if there's another eruption.
If it does blow, you can expect large rocks, of course, ash clouds, and a speed of 100 to 200 miles an hour.
A farmer's field is the temporary landing strip for the helicopters. It's the last bit of familiar ground the searchers will see for a while. The men take along survival kits. They may be trapped on the mountain overnight, as one helicopter crew was the night before. Deputy Sheriff Brian Hill is Hauser's partner. Hill has trained the dog for 2 years. Hauser's learned how to track down human beings, dead or alive. The helicopter pilots are from Fort Lewis, Washington. This kind of flying is not unusual for them. All of them have been trained to fly behind enemy lines and pluck out wounded soldiers.